So let's travel back to 1990 when Steven Seagal was in his prime, battling Jamaican drug posses on the main streets of Chicago and marked for death. Burned out after losing his partner on the job, drug enforcement agent John Hatcher hopes to find some calm and serenity by returning to his hometown. But things at home have changed, and not for the better. Jamaican drug lords, led by a black magic high priest named Screwface, have completely infiltrated the small town, turning it into a blood-soaked war zone. But this gang soon learns that they've met their match in John Hatcher after marking his family for death, and all the mystical voodoo in the world won't be enough to stop Hatcher's wrath. So in the late 80s, you started to see a couple of martial arts trained action heroes hit the big screen in the form of Jean-Claude Van Damme, but more relevantly here, Steven Seagal with Above the Law, and later on Hard to Kill. But Seagal was still trying to find his footing in those first two films, trying to find what exactly worked for what he could bring to the screen as an actor, as an action hero, as a martial artist, trying to find exactly what kind of type of tone and formula would work best for him. And for me, Marked for Death is that film that just completely solidifies exactly what you can expect from the best of Steven Seagal. And in my opinion, this is possibly Seagal's best film for a number of fantastic reasons. Now there's also like Out for Justice and Under Siege, which are incredibly good films, but there's just something exceptionally special about Marked for Death that just makes it so satisfying as an action film. And this was headed up by director Dwight H. Little, who previously done Halloween 4, and a couple other things, and I think Dwight Little is a damn good fucking director who's never really gotten the big break that he deserves. He's never kind of broken out and been a big theatrical film director, but the guy's always done very solid work, and I think this film just exemplifies that this guy had so much talent as an action director. He could do so many great things with the right talents involved. But you ask yourself, what is so special about Steven Seagal in his prime? Because since he's gone to this direct-to-video hell, he's become very lazy. He's become kind of a joke in the industry and everything. He's not been the guy that a lot of people grew up with and really loved like hell in those first couple of films that he did. And what he brings to the screen is a real good sense of charm, wit, charisma. That he has a levity to him that's very relatable, and it has a certain gravity about him. I like what Steven Seagal does with that low voice. It's a bit of that kind of Clint Eastwood, Snake Plissken type of thing where he speaks down low, so he kind of engages the audience a little more, draws you in a little bit more, but he also comes off as that slowly burning fuse that's ready to explode. There's just this kind of powder keg that's ready to go off at a certain point in time when he's really bringing the voice down low and really kind of whispering his lines here and there. Just there's so many real good subtle things that he does with his performance that are come very naturally to him. I like the charm that he brings. How the screenplay is written really gives him enough sort of dialogue to really kind of endear himself to an audience and have a family around the character of John Hatcher to really kind of flesh him out, make him seem like a relatable type of guy. And I like the story that the character is going through in the film, that at the beginning of the film he has a DEA operation that kind of goes south, and he comes back and he feels burned out. Doesn't feel like he's making a real difference or anything. He just wants to get away from it all. He doesn't want to deal with anything. He just wants to let it all blow on by. It just feels like he's doing a whole bunch of big dangerous work and anything, and it's not really any kind of payoff for him. So he goes back home to his family in Chicago, Lincoln Heights, and just trying to settle in and just trying to enjoy his own little comfortable small corner of life and everything. But these Jamaican posses come in and start rattling everything and make it impossible for him to turn himself away from this type of danger that's very much killing people and infecting his neighborhood and everything. So I like the quality in the film that you got this guy who is, for me, guy who loves Miami Vice, whatnot. I really picked up on the couple of little qualities that kind of like the small cog in the bigger picture that you're trying to trip away at this giant beast or whatnot called the drug trade and everything, and it just feels like you cannot make any difference in anything. But John Hatcher's that type of guy who's like, he's going to go for it whether he's commissioned or not. He's that typical type of action hero that's going to just do what he feels is right when he's motivated the right way. But Seagal does such a great job as a very charismatic actor who can really hit off these couple of smarter one-liners than he's had before, than like he had in like Hard to Kill or whatnot. He does really good job with certain dialogue to really make it kind of quippy, kind of smart, kind of witty and whatnot. He just has just a real sort of down-to-earth type of quality to him that really just makes him accessible to an audience. And obviously when he just gets in those action sequences, the guy seems 100% capable of everything he has to do. I mean, there's tons of gunplay in this film, and it's fucking fantastic. It is violent as shit. This film is very hard-edged, very gritty. That's one of the things I love about it. But Seagal, when he gets into the hand-to-hand combat, is when it really gets fucking good. That's the best part of any good Seagal film, is when he goes in there and he starts cracking limbs with his Aikido and everything, breaking bones here and there. Just that's the juice of what you get in a Seagal film. When that happens, that's when things get really fucking becomes like his signature type of thing throughout the rest of his films. That no one else really kind of did that type of thing, and that really kind of made Seagal a little bit have his own type of appeal when he went into his films and whatnot. But there's a whole bunch of great supporting cast in this film, such as Keith David, awesome fucking actor. The guy's just, if you saw him in They Live or The Thing or various other films, Keith David is a fucking great actor. The guy's got great presence, that great voice. He can come off as a complete badass, no problem whatsoever. He brings a lot of charisma and everything to his role and everything. He just does a great job. And you got Danielle Harris here, who Dwight brings back from Halloween 4, and Elizabeth Grayson, who Highlander the series fans would know, and a couple other people are really good in this film. Just a really solid cast that really supports the film greatly, and the main leads are fantastic. Like I said, Seagal's great, but fucking Screwface in this film. This villain in this film is fucking amazing. Basil Wallace does a tremendously wicked job as Screwface in this film. This guy's like something right out of your fucking nightmares. The guy is just creepy, scary. The guy's got such intensity to what he does. I like when the character is really on fire, when he's really into the whole thing. His eyes just bug right out. He doesn't flinch one bit, doesn't blink once. He's just staring directly into you. The guy is creepy as shit in this film, and he's probably like the best villain in any Seagal film ever. I just love how they make Screwface use that type of mystique to just kind of amplify and enhance his personality and everything. His presence in the film just works so beautifully. But I like one of the things I find very unique about this film, because this would be a great double feature with Predator 2, which has its own Jamaican posses and everything, oddly enough, also released by 20th Century Fox in the same year. And but the thing that makes this kind of stand out a little bit more unique, that they seem to put a little bit more effort, a little bit more thought and care into the films, that, yeah, you got these villains, these murderous, bloodthirsty Jamaican posses who are just wasting everyone in sight and dealing drugs and everything. But they show both sides of things. They show the actual Jamaican culture. They go to Jamaica in the third act of the film, and they show the actual people living it up, having very vibrant, very peaceful type of lives. They just act like regular people. They show the full culture of the whole thing. They show you a context of how these people live, their hard lives. It's not just some kind of picturesque type of postcard type of landscape or whatnot. There is a very hard life down there and everything, but there's still a great colorful vibrance to their culture and everything. And the film does have some very kind of catchy reggae songs in it that just really kind of add more color to the film, just kind of amplify that. And the score for the film is provided by James Newton Howard, who is a fantastic composer and does a really fantastically solid, tight job with this score and everything, really kind of adding in a bit of Jamaican beats here and there to trying to, in the darker moments, whatnot, the action sequences, just trying to add that flavor to keep it a constant overall style to the whole film. It just works so beautifully with his talent. But also the cinematography in this film, it's just fantastic. This was all because I also reviewed Cobra, the George Cosmatos Stallone film, late last year, and that was shot by the same cinematographer as this film, and I thought Cobra looked fantastic. I thought it had tremendously awesome cinematography, and this film is no different whatsoever. And I like that Rick Waite is able to use the full CinemaScope frame in this film to really just do a beautiful job of this thing. There's a lot of great atmosphere with the candles and the smoke and the darkness and shadowiness with a lot of the Screwface scenes and everything. It really kind of amplifies his mystique, and the film just has beautiful cinematography all around. It just creates such a great gritty, dark type of intensity and whatnot. There's so much energy, momentum pulsating through this whole film. The cinematography does that. The editing is just razor sharp, and the action sequences obviously follow suit with that. They benefit so much from the razor sharp editing in this film, the great cinematography that just gets everything so spot on. Every single shot just in these action sequences are just so perfect. They're just, everything is highlighted, everything's shot with such great sense of composure, whatnot. There's not, again, like today, you get a lot of shaky cam stuff, trying to be very kinetic. This film just Rick Waite, this director of photography, just knows exactly how to shoot an action sequence, and this just looks just about as good as Cobra does. But I think this is an overall better film than Cobra. One of my favorite and most memorable sequences in the film is the one that starts with the car chase that barrels into the department store and goes into a hand-to-hand combat fight. I think is just a perfect, beautifully flowing action sequence that's just complete high-octane adrenaline pumping type of stuff that just hits all the right beats. It starts out with that fast-paced chase that just through the streets and everything, just so heart pumping, everything so pulse pounding type of stuff, and it just goes right into much more visceral type of hand to hand. It keeps getting closer and closer while still maintaining a visceral quality to everything. And the film just doesn't let up. There's just so many great action sequences that just keep hitting you at the right intervals or whatnot. And it just does so many great things that just keeps the energy of this film pulsating through it every single step of the way. And when you get into the third act, when they pull out the big guns and everything, the big assault rifles, everything, and pull out swords too. This film just keeps upping up the stakes, hitting you with bigger action sequences, and doing everything with a great sort of gritty, grounded type of feel that just makes everything just makes it more exciting, more dark, dangerous type of tone and everything. That just really and this is why I think Marked for Death is Seagal's best film, my favorite film that he's ever done, because it just keeps building and building on top of things. Just creates this great energy and danger and darkness and grittiness. Just so much great things that just does everything right as an action film, solidifies the characters, casts good people in the roles, has a tremendously awesome villain, has great action sequences that just keep coming at you and doing original things, never gets stale, never gets dull, hits you with an hour and 33-minute runtime that just hits everything in a compact, condensed fashion that just tells a great story. So many great twists and turns at the end of this film. This film has a tremendously awesome ending that you'll just not see coming. If you've never seen this, don't spoil it. I won't spoil it. Don't look anything up. Watch the film. You're going to be surprised when this ending hits. There's just a great fucking twist at the end of this film that's just, don't see coming. But they do lay seeds for it. It's just very smart. I think this film is very, very smart. Dwight H. Little directs it in a smart way. I thought the screenplay was written very smartly. They have a lot of smart little things that they lay in the film with the mysticism of Screwface and various other things. Everything is developed in the right way with the characters, the storyline, the plot line. I think the film just hits everything on high octane type of thing. Everything's at 11. Everything's top notch all the way through this film from the start to the finish. It doesn't let up. It hits the ground running, keeps going, never stops until the end. And that's why I think Marked for Death is a tremendously good action film that if you've not seen it, you absolutely owe it to yourself to see it. I think it's fucking great. I love this film. I sat down to just try and watch a couple minutes of it, and I watched the whole thing all over again. So it just grabs you, wrangles you in, and just keeps going for it all the way through. And like I said, I think the cinematography of this film just looks beautiful. I think it does everything right with that cinemascope frame, how the camera moves, the shots, the colors, the grittiness, every little thing, just everything is staged just beautifully with the action sequences. Everything's top notch in this film, I think. I just think there's not a weak link anywhere. And again, like I said, with the how they're showing the different sides of Jamaican culture and everything, that they even have a Jamaican cop in the film as a supporting character throughout the whole film, giving you that balance right away. And I like that quality of the film, that they don't just vilify them all outright as a stereotype. They flesh them out, develop them, show you a dimensional culture. And I think that's very much something to be admirable towards this film about. So, if you are a Steven Seagal fan, tell me what film is your favorite of his. Do you like Out for Justice, Under Siege, Above the Law, exit wounds, stuff like that, or if you've only seen his direct-to-video stuff, which I have not bothered to take part in because I've heard so many poor things about. If you've only seen that stuff, go back, watch him in his prime. Those first couple of years in the 90s are his best pieces of work that you will find. Go see those films. You'll be doing yourself a tremendous treat by doing so. And I will be back in due time with a couple of reviews, a little behind on everything, so hopefully I'll be able to pick up the pace and get a few things out in sooner than later than I have been. So, catch you guys later, and again, post some comments below about some Seagal films. If you love Marked for Death, just tell me what's your favorite sequence in this film. Do you love Screwface as much as I think he's fucking awesome? Whatever it is, post your comments below. Hit some like buttons if you like this review and want other people to find out about Marked for Death. Definitely share the link around. I'd very much appreciate it. I appreciate all the new subscribers that are coming around lately. So post your comments below. Tell me what you love about the RavensFilm Productions YouTube channel, and I'll be posting up some new stuff sooner or later. So take care, and bye-bye.